Welcome to another episode of Off to the Races. I am your horse racing analyst, Alec, and on this week's show, I will be taking you through the Kentucky Derby preps of last week, this week, and the Dubai World Cup. On March 23rd, War of Will was attempting to become one of the first horses to win the LeCompte, the Risen Star Stakes, and the Louisiana Derby. However, it was by my standards the long shot, coming up the rail to upset the Louisiana Derby over the Todd Pletcher-trained Spinoff, Swano, and Country House. War of Will was a disappointing ninth. I think that War of Will, Country House, Spinoff, and definitely by my standards, will be in the Derby field with enough points after this run. Swano probably needs one more race to get in my opinion. On Sunday, March 24th, the Sunland Derby took place in New Mexico, where the Bob Baffert trainee Mucho Gusto, high on many people's Derby lists, was going to prove himself worthy of a Kentucky Derby spot. On this day, though, it was Cutting Humor, the up-and-comer for Todd Pletcher, who held off another twist of fate in a thrilling Sunland Derby. Mucho Gusto set extremely fast fractions in the early going that penalized him in the end of the race. Another twist of fate, the second-place finisher, ran a very nice second, closing at the end, and Cutting Humor got a perfect trip and is in the Kentucky Derby with 50 points. As you saw in the chart shown before, you saw that Core Beliefs was the winner of the New Orleans Handicap. The race started with a bit of anxiety as Noble Indy, former Triple Crown contender, broke through the gate. We wondered whether he would start. He didn't make an impact on the race, but Core Beliefs, with a nice trip, although drifting through the stretch, he was able to pull out a win over Silver Dust and the hard-trying Lone Sailor. This week, the Florida Derby features another return of Hidden Scroll, a 14-length maiden winner, coming off a fourth-place finish in the Fountain of Youth, along with second morning line favorite Code of Honor, the winner of the Fountain of Youth, the Holy Bull winner Harvey Wallbanger, the second-place finisher of the Fountain of Youth, and an impressive 3-for-3 horse, Maximum Security, who's won 3 races by 35. I like Hidden Scroll because I don't think that the pace is going to be as hot as it was in the Fountain of Youth, and I think he can have an easy lead without being tested unless Maximum Security will test him early. We'll see how the pace turns out, but I think Hidden Scroll is going to be able to overcome it for trainer Billy Mott. I have Maximum Security second, a bit of a long shot, not very much. And then I have Bourbon War, the fast-closing second-place finisher of the Fountain of Youth. Then Code of Honor, I could be overlooking him a bit. I don't see him winning here. And then Harvey Wallbanger, in my opinion, the weak winner of the Holy Bull. Because of the scratch of champion sprinter Roy H., Imperial Hint is the new headliner of this weekend's $2.5 million Dubai Golden Shaheen, run at Meydan over 6 furlongs on the dirt main track. I am not picking the favorite due to his poor performance in the Pelican, where he finished third behind cheap horses. I pick Promises Fulfilled, 4th place finisher of the Breeders' Cup Sprint. However, the pace was extremely hot that day, 21-1. 44 and change. I think that if he goes a little bit softer, I think he can win pretty nicely. He already had won the Amsterdam, the H. Allen Jerkins Memorial, and the Phoenix over very top horses in his 3 starts prior to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. I have Imperial Hint second, just in case he turns around his form, drafted the Meydan Lover in third, and XY Jet finishing in 4th. Another big race this weekend is the UAE Derby, for 3-year-olds getting ready for the Kentucky Derby. However, these horses are international horses that could be under the radar going to the Kentucky Derby. One that will really make the fans on Kentucky Derby Day happy is Divine Image. If she wins the UAE Derby, she will lock up a spot in the Kentucky Derby with 100 points. She is a filly, and no filly has won the Kentucky Derby in over 30 years. If she can win the UAE Derby impressively, she will have a chance against the boys in the Kentucky Derby. I think she is going to win. She is the morning line favorite, and she has proved herself worthy with a nice win on Dubai Super Saturday on March 9th and a win in the UAE Oaks. In second, I have Walking Thunder, willing to give him a second chance after a loss last time out. I think this could be a productive UAE Derby this year, although I say that every year. Mendelssohn last year proved to be a bit of a disappointment, but Divine Image could be the real deal. This weekend is the Dubai World Cup, a race aimed at the best dirt horses around the world, going a mile and a quarter at Maidan. This is a $12 million race, the richest race in the world all year, and it is to be headlined this year by North America, winner of the Al Maktoum Challenge 1 and number 2. And he looks like he is the local star and the big star of this Dubai World Cup. He looked like he'd be the good horse last year who'd end up winning, but his start was pretty bad, and once he starts bad, he can't finish well. So the only bad part about my top selection in this field is if he doesn't start well, he can't run to the finish line in front. My second pick is Thunder Snow. He won last year in this Dubai World Cup very impressively over the Bob Baffert trainee West Coast. The only thing that's bad with him, second in his return race. And it looks like he'll get better in this race. I think he might have needed the race off the Breeders' Cup layoff. I think he can come back. He'll get beaten by North America, but he'll beat all of the formidable Americans. Speaking of Americans, I have Seeking the Soul, second place in the Pegasus World Cup in third, and Yoshida, fourth place in the Breeders' Cup Classic last time out on dirt, in fourth. That is it for this week's episode of Off to the Races, Florida Derby and Dubai World Cup edition. On next week's show, we will be covering the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, and the Santa Anita Derby, all big preps on the road to the Kentucky Derby on May 4th. Please like and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next week on Off to the Races.